All right, hey YouTube, this is Charlie Cleveland once again. And today I'm going to be making some pork spare ribs, barbecue smoked, and I'll show you what ingredients I'm using. Alright, so today obviously we're using spare ribs. This is a 3-pack, get at Costco. There are 3 St. Louis style spare ribs already trimmed up in there for me. Going to be using some honey and brown sugar. This is the rub I'm going to be using, the Dominator Sweet Rib Rub, and also going to throw in some of this Hardcore Carnivore Red. It's got a good red color. So maybe like 3 parts to 1 part of that. The barbecue sauce is this Craig's barbecue sauce. It's kind of sweet, goes good with ribs. And I'm going to use some of this rib candy. This is the apple and brown sugar habanero. Give it a little spice. We're using peach wood today. And for the charcoal, we're using the B&B Hickory Lump charcoal. And that's
Quiet, Mama.
All right, we're going to be smoking pretty low temperature today, 225 or so. So I'm going to start this charcoal. This is that B&B Hickory Lump. Start it right in the middle there. Get it started. A couple big blocks right on top. I'm not going to need a roaring fire today. But get it started. Whoa! Scared me. That's a big chunk. Just throw that right on top and worry about that one later. Alright, so I'm just going to trim these up a bit here. Looking for obvious things sticking out. I'll just kind of show a bit of one. But we're going to trim these up. This top actually looks pretty good. I mean, there's a little bit there, but I'll keep that. This one is probably the thickest rack of the 3, so I might need to watch it. It might need to cook a little longer than the other 2. It's pretty thick.
Now we have to cut it.
Just trying to straighten things up here. It actually looks pretty good. Even the end is okay. Now we do want to remove this
Now we have to grind
this
and we have to cut
membrane here.
and we have
Just kind of lift up, pull,
to and we
paper towel, get that membrane off there.
have to put it
Hopefully we can get it all in one tug. Yeah, not quite as we see. Butcher kind of gave us a little slice down there, but
But you have to get
we can get it here. Another tug or 2.
And you have to take it out, and you have to move that. But you
Yes, of course, it's not coming off in one piece, but
because
wasn't too bad.
you
It
have
works.
to put
So my goal
in because
this cook, I'm trying not to overcook these ribs. I feel like my last few times I've cooked ribs, they're almost too tender. And I don't want them too tender. I want a little bit of give to them, or a little bit of bite. I don't want them to fall off the bone. So that's a goal on this one. And I'll try to clean up anything that's sticking up here. You know, just clean it up. But actually, this didn't have much. They look to be pretty well trimmed. Clean this little bit out. They seem to be pretty well trimmed up.
It's raining right now, and the road.
Just try to even stuff up. Oh, I got that off the bone. We got a shiner there.
And rain most Sunday.
I don't know. Looks pretty good.
Egg.
All right. So what we're gonna add as a binder here to bind the rub is this Granny's homemade mustard, sweet and tangy. This should be interesting. Using a mustard binder here. Squeeze a little bit of this on. So yeah, I've trimmed all these up. I mean, I didn't trim too much off. And then also got rid of that membrane on the back on all these ribs. And this is just used to hold on to the rub. Don't need a ton. It's a hard time squeezing out there. But I'm going to do this with all the racks, both sides. Get this mustard on there on both sides, and we'll be back. All right, so we've got our 2 rubs here mixed in. That's that sweet, or the Dominator sweet rib rub. It's about two-thirds of that, and then about 1/3 of the Hardcore Carnivore Red. So we're gonna put this on, not caked on, but just enough to where, it makes some sort of difference. Not like caking it on at all, get it on the sides. And I'm going to let this sit for just a bit and kind of start pulling out some moisture from the meat on this side, then flip it over and kind of repeat, and then we'll be ready to put them on the grill, on the smoker. All right, so now we're going to get the other side. We just put the rub on one side, let it kind of get a little moist, maybe, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Flip them over. Now we're going to get this other side, the bone side.
So this is
We
yours
try to get
now.
all around the corners.
This is yours right now.
I'm gonna mix here
This
now.
is yours.
But we're gonna let this tack up and then put them on the smoker. All right, so Weber Summit charcoal is kind of getting up to temp here. We'll start by putting a few pieces of this wood in here to get some smoking throughout the cook. Like this. Let's get them over so we can get some smoking right off the bat as well. And we're gonna get the grates on. We'll get our heat deflector in. Actually, I'm gonna reverse my heat deflector on this cook just because the bottom side is so nasty. Let's see if we can maybe clean some of that off. So I'm gonna reverse it. Drip pans in there. And I'll let all this come up to temp now. Shouldn't take too long, but then add some hot water into these pans and put the ribs on. Clean off the grate and put the ribs on. Alright, so what we're going to do here is get the ribs on. I've added some water into those pans, some warm water, to keep the moisture level up. Here's one rack. Second one in there. Let's see if we can get this third one here. Not having to. Is that too hot? No, that's not too hot just yet. Let's put that to the side and get racks in. This top rack is huge. Boy, just barely squeezing on there on this Summit charcoal. 3 full racks of St. Louis style spare ribs. They are big. They barely are fitting. Don't have a lot of space between them, which is not ideal, but it'll work. So get that in there. Not necessarily right above the meat. All right, that's it, and we're gonna let them run for about 3 hours until we look at them. Maybe 2.5. I'll look at them at 2.5. All right, we've been going for 2 hours and 26 minutes. And we're running right at 225. Everything's looking good. I'm just going to look at these, see how they look. They're looking good. Still want to get a little more color on them. So we're going to leave them, but they're looking pretty good. We're going to leave them for maybe another 30 to 45 minutes and see where we're at there before we wrap them. So we've been going 3.5 hours and they're looking good. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily wrap them just yet. They are hot. I'm going to give them maybe another 15 or 20 minutes and then wrap them. Just kind of playing it by ear here. They're looking good though. Alright, so just pulled them off the grill. They've been on about 3.5 hours, and I'm going to wrap them now. show you how we wrap one. Get a big piece of foil. And what we do is get a little bit of brown sugar. Put it down in the foil here. Just kind of, I mean, not a ton, just running it down here. A little bit of brown sugar. We're going to put a bit of honey here on there as well. And I'm going to put a little bit of the rub. Have some of that rub put in this little shaker here. And just a touch more of the rub on there. And I'm going to take one of these, they're hot. I'm going to go bone side up and then kind of repeat the steps here. A little bit of brown sugar inside, not a ton, just a bit, and a little bit of honey, and then a little bit more of the rub here, which is coming out of here. And that's it there. What we're doing is wrap it. Obviously trying not to tear the foil here. I'm going to wrap it pretty tight. Get this folded just right. Wrap it pretty tight. On here, and that's one, and I'll do the rest, and we'll put them back on the grill. All right, we're gonna got them all wrapped up. We're gonna put them back on. Now this time it's bone side up. They're going on, and look at my timer here. It's at almost 4 hours, but they were off for maybe 20 minutes while I was wrapping them. So I didn't stop the timer either. Probably should have done that, but get these to fit in here. Tight squeeze. All right, so we're gonna leave these on probably another couple of hours. I'm gonna maybe another hour and a half or so. I'll check them after about an hour and a half and see how flexible they are, and we'll decide there if they're done. All right, so the ribs have been on now 5 hours and 15 minutes, and one rack was still seemed kind of solid. I'm going to check these two here. And I'll just show you. I'm looking for pretty hot. So what we're looking for here. I don't think those are quite ready yet. Let's see how tender they are. I think they might have to go back on a little longer. Yeah, they're not super tender. Yep, definitely have to put those back on. So we are on 5 hours, 15 minutes, and we're still going to go maybe another 30, 45 minutes. I'll come back at the 6 hour mark and check them. All right, so I pulled them off, took them out of the foil. One thing we're going to do here is sauce them up and put them back on a little bit. And so I've got some sauce here. Just going to show you what we're going to do. Just kind of run some of this sauce over. Now this is that Craig sauce with a little bit of the, what's it called, rib candy put into it. This is the brown sugar habanero. But I'm going to run this sauce right over the top of all these ribs, and I'll put them back on for maybe 15 or 20 minutes, and then they'll be ready to eat. All right, so they've been back on after saucing them maybe 5 minutes. As you can see our time here, we're at 6 hours and 49 minutes. I'm going to let them go a few more minutes, and then we'll take them in the kitchen and see how they taste. All right, so as you can see, it took 7 hours, almost 7 hours, 6 hours, 54 minutes. Going to cut into these, probably flip it over so you can see it a little better on the back side. To see how these taste. Here, they're pretty thick. Let's see how this tastes. Looks good. Give it a shot and see how it's going to taste for us. Oh yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Really good. Yep. And that's it.